Hey, it's Elliott Wilson from Rap Radar, man. Crown 2, I'm very excited, man. It's another late night in the city. We did it once with Tyler. This time we got J. Cole. He's got a new album, Born Sinner, that's coming out.
Instantly, I thought of Inside the Actor Studio, which I love. And I was like, oh man, it'd be so ill. You know what I mean? And then plus it's with Elliott, and we always had the illest conversations. And like, it's not even an interview, it's really a conversation.
Just about to let the crowd in. There's a line already down the block. It's crazy. It's going to be good. I've interviewed him several times. We've had real candid conversations. Hopefully we can have that same level of candor in front of a live audience.
So it's a balance of not trying to give away too much about the album, because I'm very secretive and I want it to be a surprise, and also just me being a private person, period. You know, and finding that balance to give these people what they came for, which is insight. When there's excitement and there's interest, I go on a spree.
To these people that love you, to you.
Which they're here, so we'll see. It should be great.
You know, I'm ready to go, man.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, J. Cole. How's your man?
How you doing? You going right?
What's up? Well, this is incredible, by the way. First of all, I want to say,
Yes.
I got to soak up the moment. I haven't had a chance to really look in
Yeah,
here.
there you go. Go ahead, say hi, Cole. Go ahead.
The fact that y'all fucking paid money and waited in that line, I saw that line, just to come in for it. I'm not even rapping tonight. This shit is
He
crazy.
ain't performing. There's no performance. No performance. This nigga ain't rapping.
So I say all that to say thank y'all for coming. So we
No
can get
doubt.
into it.
Thank you. All right, Born Sinner.
Yeah.
Yo, you hear Born Sinner, you know, and I remember when we did the Respect cover, it's like, you know, it's the dark side. It's the, you know, you went through a lot of drama, like, you know. But it's funny, with that title, you would think one thing, but what I noticed in, you know, in the limited press that you're doing and everything you start realizing, you just look, you know, you had that line in the first album, very happy. You look very happy about your situation right now. So even though it's like Born Sinner, you know, you seem like you're at your most proud and happy and content place career-wise.
Yeah, because Born Sinner, I feel like describes the album. You'll hear it. It's talking about like, I'm happy now because I'm through that and I'm over that. You know what I mean? You'll hear all of that. You know what I mean on the album, but it describes that time period. You know what I'm saying? The way I'm at. I don't want you to get Born Sinner and feel like I'm acting like I'm the Undertaker. You know what I mean? Like this is dark.
But that's what you did with Respect cover. You was like, I want some skull and bones. I'm gonna wear a leather jacket. Yeah.
But it does describe. It describes life, period. I feel like Born Sinner represents all of us in a sense, you know what I mean? But it's that chapter that I promise you, it felt like, it was literally times where I feel like, thank God I ain't going through that shit no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, or thank God, like, oh, this is what it feels like to be like, you know what I mean? Feeling like myself in more ways than just musically, just as a person, you know what I'm saying?
So what do you think it really was, looking back on it, and how did you survive it?
Just pressure at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Mixed with also not knowing how to navigate through the industry, being like a guinea pig in a sense. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That mixed with the pressure. I just imagine LeBron James for those first, and y'all know everything with me is all sports, basketball related. But I imagine
you like that basketball.
I imagine LeBron James for those first 4 or 5 seasons. He comes in the league and everybody's like, oh, King James, King James. He's like, oh, shit, they calling me King James. Before he ever even played a game, then he's living up to it. They're like, oh, King James. By the second, third season, they're like, well, King James, where's the ring? And then he's like, fuck. And then he's balling his ass off, makes it to the finals, no ring. Now Twitter comes into existence. Everybody's at King James. You ain't got no rings, nigga. And then he's like, fuck. Fuck, every day they reminding him about his hairline and his rings, and it's like, fuck, man. I can't escape this shit. So I say that pressure, we laugh about it because we're not LeBron James, but that shit is real. Yeah. I could see, because I know what it's like to be in a position, I always look at LeBron differently than the average person. I'm looking at him like, fuck, I know the weight he's dealing with. So when he won that chip, it was like, like, you know what I mean? So there was a point where, and y'all haven't heard the album, but this is how I feel about it. There was a point where I felt like that, like, like.
But you felt
yeah.
like, but to take even with Sideline Story, I remember that, you know, you shocked the music industry because you actually sold a lot of records the first week without like, you know, you sold 200,000 or so albums.
218,000 roughly.
Yeah. But so I go to this nigga. So
and they undershipped it, but we're not going to talk about it.
Wait, say it again?
You know, people couldn't buy the album the first couple days.
Oh, yeah, remember that?
Everywhere.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
When they don't expect you to sell albums, they undership your album. You know what I mean?
So you did 217 without
218, roughly.
I don't care about the numbers, though. So I hit this nigga up, and I'm like, yo, you know, let's do a respect cover. Let's celebrate, blah, blah. I meet with him, and he's like, he's already like, I mean, you said, you had a great quote. You said to me that you're more proud of the numbers than the actual product. You know what I mean, of that situation, right?
Yeah, I say this because there are people out there, and probably in here too. I walk through the airport, and somebody be like, yo, Cole, I fucking love you. The album is a classic. And then I have to say, yo, thank you, I appreciate that. But in my heart, I know, like, it's not like, oh, I could have went harder. I just know, the couple things that I did that I could have did differently. And basically, long story short, it didn't have what I always dreamed about was that initial impact of like, boom. So numbers-wise, it did something that I couldn't have imagined.
Yeah.
But in terms of that impact that I wanted from, you know, very long, we know the story of, and we're gonna learn even more like what happened and for me to go there, but it didn't have that boom. So right away, what you're talking about is, I was aware of that. So the first week we spent celebrating, like, oh shit, we fucking did the numbers, we wasn't expecting that. And the next week I was like, back cooking up. But I didn't know why, but it was because subconsciously I felt that unsatisfied.
Yeah, and then you went on like a European tour, and I guess that was like you said, it was two things. You told me you needed to find inspiration. You started watching old rap DVDs and documentaries to get inspired, like Death Row.
I watched everything, not just rap, but I literally, shout out my man, you know, my man fell to me, like, loaded my computer up with like all of this stuff, like mad documentaries and some hip hop, some just like, you know, conspiracy theory shit. Some is like National Geographic.
Why did I sell these
records?
records?
But for the first time, I was like in a pressure-free environment and just I needed to refill my tank that I had been exhausting for like, y'all gotta remember, this is my second album, but it's really like my fourth, and I've been out since 2009, June 2009 when we put out the warm-up.
Yes. You guys like that warm-up? You like that warm-up?
Yeah.
Why do you, I mean, we'll go back, take it back. When did you know the warm-up was like hitting and was gonna get you that notice? Like, when did you feel like, wow.
When did I know that? Well, you gotta understand that a lot of those songs were our album songs. Me and E and my man RJ, we used to drive around with no deal, broke. I'm in a Honda Civic, which was at some point in time.
Shout out to everybody with a Honda Civic.
That Honda Civic was balling at some point. I was feeling good in that thing. But we used to ride around on the way to the club, on our way wherever we was going, and play these songs. This is No Deal. And I Get Up. I had Two-Face at the time. I had Lights Please.
I like that Two-Face.
At this time, I had Lost Ones. This is 2007, 2008, and I had these songs that I was saving. Some of them I was saving, and then so when the warm-up came out, I initially started a warm-up with those freestyles that are on the warm-up, like Till Infinity and like the Just to Get By freestyle. And what I was gonna do, the reason why I was called the warm-up is because I was hungry for this deal, and I related the rap game to my like short-lived basketball career in high school, where I got cut. This is a real story. I got cut my freshman year, and I was like, this is bullshit. I'm better than all these niggas. How you gonna cut me? And then I went out the next year, sophomore year, I got cut again. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, you cut me again? And then for the first time, I had to look in the mirror and be like, damn, nigga, you're not even working towards what you say you want. So for the first time in my life, I literally played every day, 1,000 shots a day, full court one-on-ones, minute drill sprint. I trained like a real basketball player, made the team the next year, was starting by, I have no history as a real basketball, like, I have no real stats, but this was an accomplishment for me in my life. Like, my mom always talks about this because she sees her son I know niggas that got cut, and the pride was so real that they'll never go out again. I was like, nigga, I'm gonna be on this motherfucking team, and then I'm gonna get signed. Long story short, that's how I looked at the warm-up. I was gonna start it. The warm-up was gonna be all freestyles, like dedication, like Lil Wayne dedication, which I loved. I was like, oh, I'm gonna just kill all these freestyles. But what happened was, the game changed the minute Drake dropped So Far Gone. You know what I mean? The game instantly changed. And I was already gonna put some of these album songs on the warm-up, but the minute he dropped So Far Gone, it was like, not only am I gonna put these on there, but I'm gonna put all of these motherfuckers on there because...
Probably you have to stack the deck.
Yeah, because I have to show them I gotta come and play my best hand too, because he clearly came with his, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And instantly right there is that's how the warm-up started or whatever. And how did I know it was gonna have that impact? I didn't know because I didn't know shit.
No, when did you start feeling it was having that impact?
When did I feel it was having that impact?
Yeah. Was because it was before Jay-Z signed you, like, so when did you start feeling like... No. Well, it wasn't?
No. I put that out 4 months after I got my deal.
Yeah.
We were supposed to put that out. Eve was bugging the shit out of me. Every he knows it too. He was like, yo, we need to chop this warm up. I'm telling you, we didn't have no deal.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, it's time. I'm like, I just had a feeling. I always follow my gut feelings, even with not going with January 28th. I always just try to follow my gut. If there's a strange feeling, I'll hold back. And I always know there's a reason for holding back. But anyways, we put the shit out in June. How did I know? I don't know. Twitter was around. You know what I mean? I could see the comments on the blog. I could see people like reaching out. I could see the reviews, and then we hit the road, and there was people like, yo, J. Cole. I would go places, and people would know who I am. I'm in the Honda Civic. I'm like, yo.
That's me, the rap star in my Honda Civic.
Yeah, this is embarrassing. So I knew it was having an impact. But it was impacting us just as a team. Like, we would listen and be like, oh, man. Like, they gonna fuck with this. Nobody's saying these things. You know what I mean? Nobody's rapping like this.
Yeah. And you're proud of those mixtapes. So you also said, remember you said that with Born Sinner, you said that you don't think it's a challenge to top Sideline Story, but it is a challenge to top the warm-up and Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, no doubt, of course. And I don't even think it's about topping them, because this is how it is. First of all, with Born Sinner, I don't think it's close. Like, as a project, I know, even with warm-up and Friday Night Lights, as legendary as we think those are, and they're going to be classics, and they are classics, but the world is going to know about them. You know, just like Reasonable Doubt, not comparing, but like there was people that knew about Reasonable Doubt, and other niggas was like, what, who, Jay-Z, who is that, or whatever. But my point, what the fuck was your question? I just forgot my whole shit.
No. How Born Sinner, the challenge is to top, because you look at your mixtapes as a whole discography.
Yeah, yes, so talking about Reasonable Doubt, that's a perfect example. I don't think it's about trying to top those, because to these people, some of these people in here, you're not going to be able to recreate that moment of like when you heard somebody saying this shit and it touched you, you know what I mean? That newness, you can't get that back, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there's people out there that in 1996...
They're actually right out there.
Yeah, no. This is a different analogy. There's people out there in 96 that heard Reasonable Doubt. I'm not one of them. I was a Pac fanatic. I would never even listen to Jay-Z because I just heard Tupac say, fuck Jay-Z, you know what I mean? And I was like, I wouldn't even listen.
Yeah.
So, but there's people out there that heard Reasonable Doubt and was like, oh my God, what the fuck is this, right? So they're a very small amount of people. Then he drops Volume 1. They hear Sunshine. They like, damn, Jay, I've been riding with you. You got me out here promoting this shit. Fuck, man. But he's still nice, though. Nigga, check out this other shit on the album. Then he drops Hard Not Life, and they like, I told you, that's my nigga. And you don't even know about Reasonable Doubt. So they going hard, right? Yeah. Then, a couple albums later, he's just killing. He's on top of the game, and they feel like, yo, I've been there from day one. Then he drops Blueprint to niggas like me, which I respect Reasonable Doubt, and I know this fucking amazing. I listen to that album and my mind is blown. But for me, as a hip hop fan and my experience
of your era,
my era, Blueprint is like, oh my God. So I'm one of the kids like, yo, this is the best shit ever. Now you got a Reasonable Doubt fan like, yeah, this shit is amazing, but yo, you don't even know about Reasonable Doubt, though. So to that Reasonable Doubt fan, because of that moment they was in, Blueprint could never be above Reasonable Doubt. So I say all that to say,
Born Sinner is the blueprint in this analogy.
Not even saying it's the blueprint. I'm just saying I'm not trying to top Warm Up and Friday Night Lights because I could never recreate that moment or beat that moment for the people. I'm one of them that was attached to it. But you know, I'm gonna make new classics, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like new legendary shit.
Yeah.